second. Although, oh no, we're live only on LinkedIn. It's they're saying Facebook is having a problem.
Uh-oh.
We may not be live on Facebook.
So with me walking around doing my live roving reporter gig
Oh
here, if it's not going on
no, no,
Facebook.
no! Now we're live on Facebook.
Okay. Did it, did it, did it, did
It
it, did
says,
it. This is your roving reporter. Did it, did it, did it, did it.
"Oh, do your Ray Stevens thing." I like that. That was
Yeah.
good.
Did it, did it, did it, did it. This is your roving reporter live in Burton, Texas, as a streaker has just run past the pole beans.
What's his wife's name? Edith? No,
Uh,
Ethel.
Ethel,
Ethel
don't look, Ethel.
is too late. She's already been mooned.
Here he comes. Look at that. Look at that. There he goes. Look at that. Look at that. And he
And
ain't
he ain't
wearing no
wearing no
clothes.
clothes.
Ah,
Do you ever do that one at karaoke?
no, I never have. Not that I
Oh,
wouldn't. I wouldn't be opposed to it. But by the way, everybody, I am actually live in Burton, Texas tonight. They're having. It's a little town close to our ranch, and they are having a wine walk tonight. And I'm doing the show before I begin to do the wine or try to walk. So there we go. But
and we got Janet's on and Peg's Janet from Ireland. Peg's on, our buddy Peg, Andrea from Jerseyville, Illinois, and Joanna Niederheiser. Joanna's got one of those names you got to say the whole thing. Joanna Niederheiser, and
it sounded like she's asking for a beer to me. Joanna, need a Heiser?
Joanna Niederheiser. Is that?
There we go. Need a Heiser.
Yeah,
Hi, everybody. Glad you're here.
we used to. We call Joanna Niederheiser's husband, Brian Niederheiser, we call him Buzz because when he was cutting his hair one time, he cut it up the back by mistake, like Buzz. Then he had to walk around like that with like a path up the back. Oh,
Oh, man.
and Facebook user said, I used to live in Corsicana, Texas. Is that
I know
close?
Corsicana well. Corsicana's
Oh,
about 2.5 hours north of here. Burton, Texas is a beautiful little town. You would love this place. It's small. It's the population of the entire town is 300 people,
that's
which is more
hilarious.
population than we have out at the ranch. So there is no population where we are. No, but 300 people, and it's in the middle of kind of an antique area. In Texas, there's this big antique festival they have twice a year called Round Top Days, and there's a little town called Round Top, Texas. Huge, huge antique place. Joanna Gaines goes there a lot to look for stuff. I mean, it's that kind of a place. And Burton is very close to that, and a lot of the shops here have antiques. As a matter of fact, if any of you are ever in this area, I'm going to walk over here and show you the store. Um, this store is called Flown the Coop, and it is a great store owned by friends, and she's always got great stuff in here. So if you're ever in this area, go to Burton, Texas. There's there are just some really really neat people here.
That looks like it's got like a farmer porch thing on it.
It does,
Oh,
and
that's
see
cute.
if I can get their sign in it.
Oh,
Can't really get
my.
it in this, but anyway, they're just really sweet people.
That's cute. Andrea's dad used to work for Hulcher Railroad Company,
I
and
know Holster.
Andrea's the one that used to live in Corsicana.
Yeah.
No, and
Corsicana's closer to Dallas than it is here. We are probably 10 minutes from a little town called Brenham, Texas, which is the home of Bluebell ice cream, if you know that
oh,
brand.
yes.
And we're about an hour from Houston.
Wow. And tell me what the it's a wine walk.
Yeah, it's a wine walk. All the shops are staying open late, and they've got wine and heavy hors d'oeuvres in each of the shops, and you can walk around and shop and take advantage of the day basically. And
Now wait a minute here. If the town only has 300 people, how many shops could there be?
let's see, Flown the Coop. Um, there's a restaurant called the Brazos Bell. There's another place called the White Horse Saloon, which, by the way, I love the White Horse Saloon. And I will tell you the truth. When we first moved here, Laurie, myself, and her parents, we stayed so late, we closed that bar down one night. Of course, it
I'm
closed at
sure.
9 o'clock, but that's okay.
I'm shocked and stunned.
I know you are. But there's several restaurants. There's probably three or four
Was
shops.
it must be a tourist thing then?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very much like a little boutique touristy town
Oh,
that
nice.
is close to the big round top auction antique festival. So it's great. So if
Nice.
anybody is ever in the area, come do business with my friend Tiffany and her store Plum the Coop. There we go.
That's awesome. Yeah, and let's see here. Janet said, "What's that big bright light in the sky?"
It's
Oh, because
down here in Texas, we call it that evil sun in July and August, but right now we love it.
yeah, we. I don't know about Janet. She must be saying that because she has the same thing we have. It's been raining so much we haven't seen it. So it's raining and snowing. Oh, look at
It's
that
a,
truck. That's kind
isn't
of
that cool?
spiffy. That
Isn't that
is
cool?
neat.
Yep.
I've always
Tiffany.
wanted to drive. Have you? Can you drive one of those old ones?
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know
Oh,
if this one runs, but yeah, I can drive a stick. No,
well,
I
I've
learned
never.
on
Isn't
old
it?
ones.
But yeah, yeah. You're so much older than me.
I really am. I'm
I
ancient.
I really like saying that. But isn't something like that? Isn't it on the column?
Probably,
Yeah.
probably.
See, I haven't done on the column. I've only done on the floor.
Oh, when I was a kid, I remember riding. My dad had I think it was a truck, but it had the three on the column. First, second, third, and reverse. So I still call that three. But he would sit me in his lap, no car seats because they didn't have car seats back
No, of
then,
course not.
no seat belts. He'd sit me in his lap, and I would change the gears. And he said he had a Jeffrey Matic transmission.
Oh, Jeffrey Maddox. That's cute. That is cute. Yeah, Janet said over in Ireland it's rain and sleet all day. Ew.
Oh, well,
And yeah.
Janet, we will welcome you over here in the United States anytime you want to come. I could even get you a pass into Texas. So,
No, don't say that. I want to go to Ireland again.
I
That
do
was
too, actually.
yes, that'd be fun. Eunice remains on too. Hey
Hi,
Eunice.
Eunice.
And yes, let's see. And in Maine it's rain, let's see, foggy, rain and foggy. Yeah, and happy Easter from Australia, Lisa. Happy
Yay.
Easter. Put your name in the comments because it's showing me Facebook user Australia. I'd love to know who you are.
By
So
the way,
that's
Eunice, I have a message. I have a special message for Eunice and probably several other people that follow the show. Your mailed out invitations to Streetwise Live in West Palm Beach are going out probably tomorrow. If not tomorrow, it's going out the next day, and the sales page is going to be live pretty soon too. So we're excited about that.
that is
But
so exciting.
it is. I was looking at Eunice's name today to making sure that it was on the list. So. And
That is.
anybody else, if you want to get that invitation, just email me and I'll make sure you get one.
Do you mind saying about tell us about the event again for
Oh, I
those
would
that
love
didn't
to.
hear about it? Yeah, because it's been a couple
I'd love
weeks.
to. The event is called SalesWise Live 2024 is what we're calling the first one. I guess we'll change that every year, but it's in West Palm Beach, Florida. Imagine this: you're in one of the most beautiful places in on the coast of Florida. It is the event's going to be in the Ben Hotel, and from the roof of the Ben at the rooftop bar and restaurant up there, you can see the intercoastal waterway. You can see yachts, and in the distance, you can see the Atlantic, and it's just gorgeous. But it's going to be a 2.5 day event. It's really a 2 day event, June 3rd and 4th. But on June 2nd, the night before, we're also having a gathering, a special gathering where people can come in for it. I've already booked a Dixieland band to play because, again, it all plays off the book Streetwise to Saleswise. And as you guys know, that was set in New Orleans. And so I've already booked
Oh,
the
that's so
Dixieland band to
fun.
come in. But for 2 days, it'll be Bob Berg, myself, and Kim Anjali, and we will be doing some of the most intensive sales training you can imagine. It's not going to be the typical sales event where you go and you watch a bunch of people speak on stage and you clap. Uh-uh. We're going to be teaching. We're going to be having little breakout sessions where people can practice what they're learning. We're going to get out there with them and do it with them. It's going to be pretty darn special. I'm very excited about it.
That I can't even imagine the value you guys are going to bring between you and Bob. I don't know your other partner, but uh, I'm sure if you're doing business with her, she's got to be right up there at your level. So that is awesome. That
Yeah,
sounds
we're
like such a
really
good
excited.
good thing.
And when you think about it, when I know somebody going to West Palm is going to be an investment and all that, and then there's the fee for the event, but the it's going to be so strong. It's a matter of, okay, how many extra sales will you make from being there, and how many would it take to make sure that you more than got your return on your investment? Because I know, like in the insurance industry, when I would open up a new account, my average group size was probably about $7,000 in in premium to Aflac, and then I would make about 2,500 to 2,800 for doing it. So it really pays off fast. It depends on what you got down. If you're in direct sales, so it takes more volume. You have to think in terms of how many people you're going to be able to bring on your team and all that. So there's just going to be so many great things. I'm excited. I'm excited to be a part of it.
You know what? I don't analyze things like you guys do, but to me, every time I've ever gone to anything like that, I've had a major breakthrough not long after that. And usually it's either a connection I made, or you only have to hear one or two things that change how you think
Right.
to really make it pay off. I mean, something that revolutionizes your business, how much is that worth?
Right.
So it's just
And
awesome.
plus, you're going to be around some of the most awesome people. They're going to be people from, oh gosh, all kinds of industries that we've had people committing already, saying, when can we sign up? When can we sign up? And it's going. This you're like I'm like you. I will get so much just out of hanging out with people
The other
like that.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
and
just crazy good.
Bob did events a long time ago that I actually was at the same one Peg's at. We decided, and and we didn't meet each other, and they were extreme business makeover events. He had
Yep.
extreme business makeover, and he had all these top name speakers and stuff. Always was a very good investment. I went to a few of them, and
Yep.
always was a good investment. And it usually was because of the other people too. That was one of
Right.
the main draws for me. The Australia lady is Kay Steiner. She said, "We met in Vegas many moons ago." I remember that, Kay. I'm so glad you popped on tonight. Thank you very much. That's awesome. And yeah, I just think that's going to be a wicked good event.
Yeah. It
Wicked.
it it, it should be for the people that go and then they start applying what they learn. It should be career changing for so many people. It really should
Yeah.
be.
And everybody, I don't know if you, I know you do this, Jeff, but um, every year when I'm thinking about what I'm going to invest in my business and myself, I
Right.
have a line item for education, and this would be tax deductible education expense because it's
Absolutely.
kind of a seminar thing. And that would be you get to deduct your travel, the hotel, and the fee for the event. All of that
Yeah.
is tax deductible.
Oh, by the way, the hotel is so nice. Of course, West Palm Beach has got a lot of nice places, obviously, but the hotel is so nice. Their normal room rate, Lisa, is like $600 to $1,400 a night. I know I'm going in an extra couple of days, and I'm paying 1,200 for the extra couple of days. I mean, it's
Whoa.
that kind of a place. For our people that go to the event, they're going to be getting the room for 269. It's crazy good,
Woo! That's a
crazy
really
good.
good price. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I love hotels like that because to me, um, I want to stay in a nice place if I'm going to something like that. I want to because it imprints it more in my. Oh, it's because it's a fusion point.
it's a fusion point.
It's a
That's
fusion
right.
point. Yeah, because the whole event gets anchored in the experience of going there and where you're staying and what you're eating. All of that stuff is together.
Right.
So I think that makes a difference.
Well, you and I have always approached this the same way. We've known our whole career if we're going to work for ourselves and be successful, we had to invest in ourselves. And I can't tell you how many seminars and things I went to over the years. I literally quit counting how much I had spent because I know over a course of probably 30 years, I bet I spent somewhere over $50,000 because I was constantly trying to get better at what I was doing, and it worked. I had a big career because of that. But it's just, I don't know, these kind of things are so special. People will always remember them. They really will.
Yeah, and I think what makes this one so special is because you and Bob have the background and the experience that
Right.
just getting that information from you two will be. the thing. Janet wants to know, could I travel to New Hampshire and put it down as new business? Yes, you can.
She absolutely could.
Come on over. And I wanted to say a quick thank you before we run out of time here. This is my mail. As most of you know, I lost my mom last week, and I've had so many of my friends mail me cards. Look at this is the last 2 days worth of cards. So
Well,
this is
so
I
much,
know.
so much love coming out to you from the people that you've loved on for so long. It's a
Oh,
good thing.
it's so nice. Yeah, it's so awesome. Yes, and oh, and Sarah's on. Sarah Ottman is on. Hi,
Hi,
Sarah.
Sarah.
Yeah, and
You,
so tonight,
you know,
go ahead.
you notice that I keep moving around. It's because some of these people, I'm not sure if they're on the witness protection plan or not. So I'm trying to make sure they're not in the picture.
I, I'm surprised you're not in witness protection.
Wait a minute. That's why I'm wearing the glasses tonight.
Of course it is.
Okay,
Of
what are we going to
course.
teach people tonight?
Okay, so let's tie it into your event because uh, my big thing lately is not lately, but I don't know, is trying to get other people to realize that when you go to an event like that, if let's say, for example, there's going to be 100 people there, you don't just take 100 business cards and start stuffing them in everybody's hands and consider yourself having a successful thing. To me, if I went to an event and there were 100 people, I'd be looking for between maybe 5 and 10 that I really made a connection with, that I know a lot about them after I leave. I know who they're looking for referrals and stuff. And I would consider that successful.
Absolutely, absolutely. The connections you make at events like that, if you cultivate them and you keep them going, they produce so much future value for you. And it's how you and I met because we kept investing in ourselves over time through Bob. And
Yeah.
that all of that led to the book, and it led to so many great things. So
And
yeah,
it doesn't, I don't, I think it's tempting. That's how come I was at an event, a Bob Berg event, and Peg was there and I didn't meet her because I wasn't trying to meet everybody. She just
right,
didn't happen to be in that 5 or 10 that I met that time. And
right,
I do have the people I met then still on my mailing list now. In my mailing list, I mean my card list that I mail cards to and stuff. And I
very cool,
know which ones I met has how I know I didn't meet her there. But
right,
I think that's so talk to me the fusion point thing. So when you
hmm
meet somebody at an event like that, you know I do cards, but what do you
right.
do to keep in touch with them?
Oh, mostly with me, it's exchanging phone numbers, it's just staying in contact, emails. But the question that I always ask anybody when I'm trying to make a new connection like that is very simple. After I get to know them, it's not the first thing out of my mouth, but when I'm ready to get to that point, it's, you mind if I ask you a couple of questions? What do I need to be looking for out there to know if someone that I meet would be a good prospect for me to send to you? And you focus on how can I provide value to that person? How can I do that? And what happens is it goes both ways. You'll provide value there, but they'll also be looking out for you, and they'll do the same thing. Had a great conversation this week with someone. I was actually on their podcast. Gosh, I can't remember. It was a few weeks back, and then each time I'm on a podcast, I do exactly what I just said to you. I look to help them make connections. Given them your name. I've given them other names about the idea of having a podcast guest. I've hooked Noemi Barris up more times than I can account for, and she's doing a great job. She's the one who books Richard Wildman now too.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome. And I think when you're concentrating on them, it's easy to get into the trap of keeping score, and you want to not do that, and it
right,
really does come around, and you don't need to keep track of it, and chances are it won't necessarily come around from where it went around from,
right,
because when you give like provide a lead for somebody, it's not necessarily them, but they're like now a walking ambassador for you.
right.
So
Absolutely.
you have to throw out the scorecard.
Right. Yeah, and it's not about keeping score, it's about planting seeds. And then you plant seeds with good faith, and you don't worry about it too much. And as long as you cultivate the seed, I mean, you still have to cultivate the relationship, touch base. You are the absolute best in the world at that. That's why I keep calling you direct sales legend, Lisa Wilber, when I'm introducing people, telling people about you. But that's your specialty. But just like you can't throw a seed on the ground and just hope for the best, you can't just give your name to somebody or go, have a little brief conversation and have anything come from it. But if you cultivate that seed and you cultivate that relationship, sooner or later something good's going to happen from it.
Well, and I think it's important to go into stuff like um, the group. It's important to go into stuff like that event,
Hmm.
just thinking, what am I bringing for value?
Right.
Not what am I getting from this, but what am I bringing to this? Because the more that you concentrate on the bringing, the other seems to take care of itself,
Absolutely.
the getting,
Absolutely.
don't
Yep.
you think?
Absolutely, absolutely. And what will happen too is, at least in my opinion, your goal should almost be like to become the connector. You're the person that puts people together. You make relationships happen, and then what will also happen is it just comes back to you. People literally start looking for it. I had people sending me contacts this week of other podcasts to get on, and making the introductions happen to some shows that I've gone, okay, this is cool. So it's not the norm. I'm in backwoods Texas. So
With
actually, I'm
300
not in backwoods Texas. I'm in Burton, Texas tonight. So
with 300 people, to 299 plus you, right?
plus me. Well, actually, we don't even live. We live in a suburb of Burton, Texas. At least that's where our ranch is. We spend more time in Houston probably than we do out here, but still.
Does a town of 300 have a suburb?
It does. Ledbetter is a suburb of Burton. That's what it really amounts to. And
Only in Texas does that make sense. Yeah.
and it was either the last election or the election before that one. I can't remember, but Burton elected a new mayor, and it was very, very pro business, and he won in a landslide, 84-36, huge margin of victory.
They probably just sit there and count them manually, don't they?
I'm
Sure.
sure they do.
Yeah, who wants to pay for a vote tabulator for 150 people, right?
Right.
Yeah. So, going to an event, just to like recap here, when you go into an event or joining a networking thing, um, what you don't necessarily need is 100 business cards. You don't need some little gimmick to hand out. You don't need a little gift to hand out. What you need is, I don't know, to me, I don't blatantly have my notebook out and write notes when they're talking to me, but I if I go to the ladies' room or go out in the hallway, I try to jot stuff down as quick as I can so I don't lose what I'm not Bob Berg. I can't remember all that. So I'm trying to remember like their spouses' names or where they're from or something we have in common, and I'm trying to get it and capture it. So that's more important than having a pen with your name on it or having business
Right.
cards. Or it's you'll be memorable for helping them. You don't have
Absolutely.
to be memorable and have it on a pen or a card. You're going to be memorable because you're bringing value to them,
Right.
and they're going to remember you and love you for it.
Yep. Well, it's kind of like how you've approached so many things, but especially to me, the Go Giver Success Alliance. When you join that, every time you're there, you're trying to think about how you can provide value that way, and that's why people love you, kiddo. That's just why. So,
No, thank you. Thank you. Even though I'm a little crazy.
what do you mean? Hey, I totally disagree with that statement. Little?
Somebody offhandedly mentioned that I was crazy the other day, and I was going to object to that and then realize I'm sitting there with blue hair objecting to that. I'm like, well, yeah, you got a point there. What was I going to say?
Oh, I was on Robert Peterson's podcast this week, and plus he and I had a call outside of that because I was giving him some advice about audiobooks and stuff. And we
Awesome.
were talking about doing you and I doing the audiobook to Blue Hair. And he knew the story both from you and from me. And he was just cracking up. It was so funny.
Oh, oh, I
He asked
hope
me if
you.
Bob did the same thing when we were
Oh,
doing Streetwise to Saleswise. I said, no, we were in different areas, and he went to a studio, I went to a studio, and if he did it, I couldn't see it. How's that?
now I think we can all agree no one can act like a 6-year-old better than me. I,
Eh,
eh,
not even some 6-year-olds.
yeah, I think I pretty much nailed that.
Nailed it, done it, mic drop. So,
That's right. You're welcome.
I wouldn't change a thing. I really wouldn't.
Well, I don't know. It made the whole experience more memorable, though, didn't
It,
it?
it did. It actually did. Neither one of us will ever forget that. And well, it's like I said about this before. You and I will be friends until we're old and senile. Then we'll just be new friends.
Oh, God.
Same thing about
That's awesome.
we'll never forget that story until we forget it. But then one of us will tell it again and we'll remember it again.
Again, it'll be like brand new.
That's right.
Yeah, and by some miracle of fate, everybody, Mr. West picked me to do a book with first so that everything he does afterward helps me.
Right.
And I appreciate that. I really do.
I'm appreciating it too because it helps us both. And that's one of the beauties of continuing to write and all that is because everything new that comes out, it promotes everything you've ever done. And so that's it's a blessing. So
Yeah, and every show you go on, I notice that they mention me, which
that's, if they don't bring you up, I usually will. So
but that's awesome. And I think, just as a tidbit to pass along, um, luckily, I was open to doing something different.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Because
yeah.
I hadn't thought about doing a co-author thing. That hadn't even been on my radar. I'm glad you thought of it, and I'm glad you thought of me.
Well, you were the first person I thought of. You really were.
No, I'm glad. I'm glad. You knew I had already decided before you called me that I was going to say yes, whatever you, yeah. Because I thought I wonder what a guy that has accomplished as much as Jeff West, what it takes to work with him, and I should have just called you and asked you, but I didn't because I don't know I was afraid what the answer would be. I guess.
Well, the timing had to be right too because when we first got to know each other and we were making the comment about how he said the lady with the blue hair would be a great book title. I wasn't taking on co-authors at that time either. I was just working on my own stuff,
Yeah.
and that changed over the course of about a 12-month period of time, maybe 18-month period of time, and got to, of course, be friends. We both have been friends with Bob for 20 years, but also became friends with John David Mann, and that that business model that he has used is what I thought, well, okay, I'm going to add that to my business model. And it turned out to be a really good thing that I said yes to also. So,
Yeah, no, and I think staying open-minded about stuff is a good idea. Doing the book has gotten me a lot of regular Avon business,
yep,
because I get a lot more exposure.
yep.
So, those of you that are listening, thinking about expanding your business, try something that you didn't consider doing before, like speaking or writing a book. And I'm not sure I'd want to do a book by myself again because this was way better because
Right.
you had skills I didn't have at all. So it
So,
worked out that way.
and vice versa. You had these funny rules. A mini skirt rule. I love it.
Although it's funny when somebody does something bad now, they all hashtag me the naughty rule. Yeah.
Hashtag Lisa Wilber. Hashtag the naughty rule. It works.
I like to be known for the naughty rule, though. That's awesome.
It's a skill set.
It's just, yeah, I like being naughty. Yeah. Well, we're at time already, if you can believe that. I want to make sure to let you go on time because you're going to do your wine walk.
Yep. And I think toward the end of the wine walk, there's probably more wine and less walking. I don't know for sure.
You're hoping it'll be the wine stagger, right?
Is there a wine that starts with the letter S? We could call it that. I can't
The
think of one. That would have been a good
sangria,
alliteration.
the
The
sangria
sangria
stagger.
stagger. There we go.
And yes, and I'm getting up early and making my favorite trip to Yonkers.
Tell Ty I said hi.
I will. So
All
thank
right,
you very
everybody.
much. Thank you very much, sir. And everybody, we really appreciate you joining us tonight. We look forward to seeing you again.
Love you guys. Y'all take care.
Love you, everybody. Bye.
Bye bye.